Welcome back to Store University. I'm Chris Volk, CEO of Store Capital, and this is our 8th segment of what we plan to be 10 small introductory courses that are designed to help you evaluate and get the most out of your business. One of the great books in business is a classic called Economics in One Lesson by Henry Hazlitt that was first published in 1946, written when he served as the principal editorial writer on finance and economics for the New York Times. Amongst the early lessons in this book is one entitled The Broken Window, where he describes the economics of a broken shop window together with the thoughts that often accompany such an event. For example, you might say that while a tragedy, the broken window simultaneously creates a societal opportunity. A job's going to be created to replace that window, and the income earned by the associated labor force will then benefit others as the money they earned flows through the economy. This is natural. We all tend to think about what is and what we can see. In this case, the window is broken. But what about what could have been? Had the window not been broken, the shopkeeper could have spent the money it cost to replace the window elsewhere, benefiting other businesses. In turn, that money would have also flowed through the economy to create new jobs and perhaps build new buildings rather than just repair existing ones. But that opportunity was lost with the resultant cost of the broken window. Now think of this as an opportunity cost. Companies incur opportunity costs like this every day. The groundwork for these costs is laid by leadership that, like Hazlitt's window example, is focused on what is rather than what might be. Consider this example. You are offered an attractive loan to finance a piece of real estate used in your business. The advance rate's aggressive, the interest rate's amongst the best you've ever seen, and you can live with the financial covenants. But what happens if you want to change your business model in a way that creates a risk of covenant violation? Or what happens if you elect to sell the building or your business and the loan is not assumable or desirable? Or what happens if you want to pay off or modify the loan only to discover that modifications are difficult and expensive and that there's a material prepayment penalty? Like our earlier window illustration, these are the what-ifs, whereas business leaders all too often focus on the what is. Or think about another example. Let's say you elect an alternate means of financing the building. You choose to sell it and then rent it back in what's called a sale-leaseback arrangement. You like the real estate price and the lease rate offered by the proposed landlord is great and you accept the deal. But sometime later you elect to sell your company and you find that the lease is not assumable without landlord consent, which exposes you to business risk, elevated legal bills, extended time. Or maybe one day you find that the property is such a strong performer you would like to expand it. So you go to the landlord to see if they can help you fund that expansion. They can't. And it turns out that borrowing for the expansion is hard because there's no way to pledge the expansion of another person's real estate to your bank. Or maybe you find that the property is not performing well, you'd like to close it down, relocate it. So you ask your landlord for some help. Again, the landlord takes a pass. Your landlord loves this location and prefers that you pay the rent obligation even if it means that you will suffer meaningful losses. Maybe your landlord financed the real estate in such a way as to make him or her incapable of permitting closure, assignment, or asset substitution. Their lender simply won't allow for this. In both of these financing illustrations, the business leader focused on what is rather than what might be, and in doing so created a long-term corporate opportunity cost. The business leader, by locking in favorable financing while at the same time ignoring the potential for resultant corporate constraints, set in motion the potential for this opportunity cost. Or let's look at the glass that's half full. The business leader made it impossible to harvest opportunity value that could have been there. How much might that have been worth? A lot. But that will be the subject for our next chapter. Until then, I'm Chris Volk, and I thank you for joining me on this valuation journey.